Hello everybody! This video is going to be talking about the new changes to TFT. This is patch 9.14. And the very cool thing about TFT is the developers recently announced that they're going to make patch notes every week to kind of, tune up some numbers and whatnot. And then every now and then they'll have a huge patch like every month or something like that with like new units or like, new items or whatever. But this is awesome, which means that we're probably going to have one of these videos every week. And I'm going to tell you what changed. I'm going to analyze them and tell you some comps that you should try out. But first of all, let's go ahead and start off with the new stuff. So first of all, there's Twisted Fate. He's a new character, costs 2 gold, pirate sorcerer, and his ulti is pick a card where he randomly stuns someone if it's a gold card. Red card deals damage around his target, so it's an AoE, or blue card which restores mana to himself and all other allies. So it's kind of like a mana regen ramp thing. Now, Twisted Fate is really weak right now. His stats are very low. His damage is really low, and also while he's ulting, he actually can't gain mana, and it takes so long for him to actually pick a card. So I actually rate Twisted Fate at its current version an F tier. You should not pick him. You should probably want to try him out if you're going pirates. If you're like winning so hard that you can afford a unit that doesn't do anything so that you can farm some more gold, then that's fine. But no, I actually think Twisted Fate is just abysmal. So yeah, stay out of that. And also, the other thing that is out is ranked mode. I mean, I've been playing ranked mode a lot, and a lot of streamers have been too. So it's pretty awesome that the first beta season is up now. And yeah, you guys make sure you just watch me get to Challenger on live 6 a.m. Pacific time every day. So go ahead and watch my stream. Twitch.tv/Amaz, yeah? Check it out. 6 a.m. Pacific time every day. Cool. All right, next up we have attack speed changes. So each champion has their own attack speed now. So that's kind of cool. And PvE rounds are changed. So instead of, sometimes getting lucky on items and sometimes you don't get lucky. If you don't get any items, you're gonna get a chest full of gold. So it's only like 1 or 2 gold at the first few rounds, but it gets pretty dramatic in late game. Like there's 5 gold. I see 5 gold and 6 gold chests from like the 3rd creep round or like even like the golems. So that's kind of cool. So even if you get a little bit unlucky, you can try and do the gold strat instead. And also, dragons no longer benefit from items. Not items. Dragons still benefit from items, but they don't benefit from the dragon trait bonuses. So sorcerers can actually beat dragon now, so that's cool. Okay, sure. Yeah, these are fine. Leveling to max level takes 6 less XP now. So sure, it's not that big a deal. But if you really want that knife unit, you can actually get it easier now. Yeah, that's just some bug fixes and whatnot. But onwards to the more important part, it's the stat changes. So, starting with demon. Demons got a bit of a tweak. 2 demons are no longer 40%. Yeah, 2 demons was actually pretty insane. So if you really want your demons to be reliable, you should actually get 4 demons, start at 50%. 2 demons is still really good because like if you actually position them so they hit the same target, then you can actually mana burn that. And position is a very important late game, right? So for example, if they have a Sage Rani in the front line, then you should position both the demons so that they hit Sage so that she doesn't ult, right? But if your opponent has a lot of things, or if you're going demons, then yeah, the 50% is actually very helpful, and 85% is the same. Elementalist got a little bit of a nerf. The Golem no longer tanks that much, so a 500 HP nerf. But more importantly, the Golem is only a tank now. He doesn't really do damage. He only does like 100 damage a hit, so that's important. Guardians stacks any number of times, although there is a bug right now for Guardians where if one of your Guardians die, the buff disappears. So it's not like Zeke's or Locket, so you'd be a bit careful. I would avoid Guardians for now until the bug gets fixed. Gunslingers actually changed to when they attack, they do extra AoE attacks. So they actually do not proc any on-hit effects such as Static Shiv. So it's very important that you realize that you don't like put all the Static Shivs on Triss and think that that's going to give you compound synergy. But you know, it's not. And then also extra units hit are they turned it to 1 and 2, so they actually don't hit everything now. So yeah, you can actually put Trist in the corner and she'll be fine. Yo, this is a huge nerf to pirates. Oh my god. I have opened so many chests of pirates that have 0 gold. I would definitely avoid pirates for now. All right, the gold deficit is not worth it. Yeah, you should just earn money the normal way. So either by win streak or lose streaking, or by saving up money. Shapeshifter got a big nerf. They changed from 100% transform to 60%. That is actually huge because Wild actually got a unnerf, right? They got back up to 88%, but the Shapeshifter buff nerf is like, so the Shapeshifter nerf is like so big for the Wild Shapeshifters comp that yeah, you really need to, you know, either get a really good start on level 2 units on Wild for it to be good, because like, right, back then, Shyvana and Gnar were so much health that they're basically unkillable, especially if you give them like Phantom Dancer or Dragon's Claw, right? So yeah, you have to be a bit more careful that Shapeshifters are a little bit nerfed. Anyways, onwards to the specific champions. Darius got a bug fix. Elise got changed to a 1-cost unit, so that's pretty big. And then Spiderlings can also apply the Demon debuff, which is the, you know, the mana drain thing, right? Do keep in mind that when Elise dies, the Spiderlings lose the buff after a few seconds. So you do want to protect the Elise a little bit. And then, of course, Elise's stats got a little bit nerfed to reflect that she is now a 1-cost unit. Fiora got a huge buff. Unfortunately, Fiora still sucks, so I will still avoid her, but she does a lot of damage now. So if you have any on-hit effects that, you know, you want to put on a tank, such as Fiora, then you can do that. Fiora's attack speed is insane. Graves got a little bit of a nerf. Vayne got a little bit of a buff. And Warwick's ulti applies on-hit effects now as well. You know, just changes that are fine. Not really a big deal. Ari's AI is a little bit smarter. So yeah, she's not going to ulti like things that are dead. Blitzcrank got a little bit of buff, where after he hooks a target, all your units that are within range of that target is going to hit that. So it's kind of like a taunt, which is actually pretty awesome because, yeah, Blitzcrank, the whole reason you want to play Blitzcrank is you want to snipe down your opponent's carry, such as like, you know, a Brand or like a Varus or like, you know, the Draven. Draven is like the biggest example. Braum got a huge buff in that he aims his shield a little bit better now, and he also got more damage reduction. So if you're building Glacials, Braum is actually a very good tank for it. If you can't find the Sejuani that quickly. Lucian also got a huge buff. The second shot does a lot more magic damage now. Lucian is still kind of iffy. I wouldn't, you know, prioritize him too much, but you know, his ability actually does quite a chunky now. So yeah, a little bit more buff to gunslingers. Pyke actually got a little bit changed. His max mana got increased by 50, so that you know, his ulti is a little bit less. It's gonna be a little bit more noticeable as long as your Pyke has no items. But if your Pyke has items like Shojin or something like that, you're not gonna notice a big nerf. But yeah, itemless Pyke is basically nerfed. Rek'Sai got a buff. Her burrow duration is lower and the stun and damage is higher. Still, I would probably avoid Rek'Sai unless you're building the 4 brawlers. 4 brawlers with the Volibear as a carry is actually pretty good, but Rek'Sai in the normal build is probably not good. And Shen also has a little bit more starting mana, so he can ulti a little bit faster now too. All right, onwards to tier 3s. Aatrox got a huge buff, huge. If you saw the Twitch Rivals event that I was playing in, dude, I had level 3 Aatrox and it just dunked on people because his max mana got reduced by 25, so now 75 instead of 100. And also the damage is insane. It's 400 to 1,000 instead of 350 to 850. Yeah, try him out. Aatrox is actually bonkers. And yeah, you can make him in Demons, you can make him in Blade Masters. He's a really strong character right now. Evelynn got a lot of buffs, more health, more execute threshold, more execute damage, and also the AI is a little bit smarter, but I would still stay away from Eve. Eve is not too reliable, and yeah, it's not her ulti that's the problem. It's her health pool and her normal attack damage that's the problem. So pass for me. GP's ulti now applies on-hit effects and a little bit of buff from attack speed and health. It's fine, not really crazy. When you call GP, you're not really playing GP for GP. You're playing him so that you have you're either running pirates, gunslingers, or blade masters, or some combination of them. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Cat got a bug fix. Kennen got a buff. I love Kennen, so it's actually awesome that Kennen got a buff again. His ulti does more damage and his auto attack does more damage too. So yeah, even more reason to pick Kennen because he does an AoE stun and he has Elementalist, which is a really strong tribe right now. Morgana got an AI fix and also a little bit more damage. That's fine. Morgana's already pretty strong, so that's fine. Poppy got a huge buff. I tried her out a bit. Her ulti actually hits more targets now the more you level her, but I would still stay away from Poppy. She's not that insane because, it's very easy to find a good tank, right? She does literally like no damage. So Rengar scaling got a little change, but it's not really that big deal. Shyvana got a pretty chunky buff because Shyvana was actually lacking behind in terms of carry potential. I actually just played the Shyvana game before recording this video, and yeah, she carried because she's not going to take any magic damage with the Shyvana and Aurelion Soul dragon combo, right? And now with the attack speed, health, and bonus attack damage after ulting buff, she's going to carry fine. So slap a PD on her, and then she's going to go to town. Next up, we've got Veigar. Veigar got a little bit of a mana cost buff, and also, for some reason, double damage to lower star champ. Okay, sure, yeah, okay. Veigar's just still kind of a whatever unit. It doesn't really matter too much. Volibear. Holy shit, Volibear got a huge buff. You should, if you play TFT at all, you should really keep your eye out for Volibear. Health buff, attack speed buff, ulti speed buff, and also when he ultis, he does more damage. Dude, Volibear is awesome right now. You can build glacials on him. You can make him get a rapid fire cannon so he can actually attack easier. You can also make him into a demon bear, which means he starts out with double the amount of mana. And also he applies mana drain. You can put curse blade. Just put any on-hit effects on him, and then he's gonna go insane. So just make sure you build either on-hit items or glacial, yeah? Onwards to tier 4. Akali got a AI fix, so that's really strong. She no longer ultis nothing. Bran got a nerf. More mana to ulti now, which is actually a little bit yikes. Yeah, Bran, I don't think Bran was insane, but yeah, still, like, you just slap a Shojin on her, she'll still be fine. Cho'Gath got a nerf. Less stun and a little bit less health, which is needed. I think Cho'Gath is a bit too insane. Draven got a nerf from attack speed, which is still fine. If you're gonna build Draven, you're gonna suit him up with items, right? You're not gonna just play a naked Draven, so I think that's fine. Gnar got a nerf for health and armor, so just be a bit careful. I mean, if you're playing Gnar, you need to either put him in the front line and have it ulti fast, or if he's dying too quick, put him in the back line so he doesn't die as fast. So yeah, just kind of, you can figure it out. Leona got an ulti buff, but Leona still kind of sucks because of the Guardian bug. So I would stay away from Leona for now. And Sejuani also got a stun nerf. She stuns less now. So once level 1 Sage is no longer insane. I would want to play Sage at level 2. I was to tier 5. Anivia, huge buff. Holy shit, I love Anivia now. When Anivia ultis, the circle lasts until the circle goes away. It no longer cancels when she dies, which is actually insane. You need to pick Anivia, man. Anivia and Volibear got such big buffs that you just need to try those out. Next up, we got MF, got some AI fixes, and also the mana cost is a little bit higher. That's actually a shame because I think MF needs to be a bit more powerful. And finally, Yasuo got a buff. A little bit more damage at the higher levels, and also the knockup duration is a little bit higher, but it's fine, The ability applying on-hit effects is fine. So like you can be a red buff to Yasuo and be pretty happy about it. But generally speaking, it's fine. Alright, onwards to items. First of all, items no longer benefit from ability power. So you cannot build 6 sorcerers and have the locket stacking and have it be like insane. It's no longer a thing. And also, spatula items give you all the stats. So if you put spatula and you put a recurve bow and make something a blade master, it gets 40 attack speed now rather than no attack speed. So that's huge. So you should actually try to build some spatula items if you can. All right, Next up, we have Curse Blade. Curse Blade reduces targets to 0 stars. That is insane. So Curse Blade always has a benefit, even if your opponent has no upgrades. So it's really, really good. Frozen Heart, I guess a bug fix. Guardian Angel is a little bit changed now. Guardian Angel revives faster and health restores a bit more. I still would not recommend Guardian Angel because, you know, the components are really good on other items. So I would still pass for now. Rage Blade got a buff from 3% to 4%, which is awesome. Rage Blade on a carry is once again viable. Gunblade makes it so that it's kind of like a little bit of a bug fix. But also, Gunblade actually has a little bit more. It doesn't say on the patch notes, but now Gunblade like does 33%, so it's quite good. Ionic Spark is true damage instead and does 200 damage. Ionic Spark is really good against spell spammers such as Yasuo and Akali and stuff like that. But if you're not actually facing against those units, I wouldn't recommend this. Locket, once again, doesn't scale up AP. The shield is a little bit more. And instead of being in a circle, it's now 2 spaces to the left and 2 spaces to the right. One of the best builds right now is Assassin Lockets. Because, you know, all your assassins going to be in the backline anyways, right? So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. That's one of the strongest builds. Luden's Echo actually has a little bit more damage now, so that's cool. Luden's is usually on a unit that can ult a lot. So, once again, same thing. Yasuo, Akali, you know, units like that. Next up, Morelos has a little bit of a buff. That's fine. It's not really that big. RFC does not work on Nidalee anymore. So if Nidalee transforms into a melee unit, then she no longer gets +3 range. She only gets +1 range. So make sure you don't put your rapid fire cannons on Nidalee anymore. Recurve Bow got a little bit of a buff. I don't know why this is necessary. The Recurve Bow is already one of the best items in the game, alongside with Spatula, but sure. Redemption triggers at low health instead of death. Redemption is actually quite good now. I like it because on death, it means that it might not heal the unit. So yeah, I would put Redemption on comps that really need more time. So carry comps and glacial comps and stuff like that, you know. Ruinous Hurricane only affects 1 target now, but applies on-hit effects. So that's actually quite powerful if you put it on like a unit that has on effects, such as like you know, Tristana, Volibear, you know, stuff like that. Sarah's Embrace got a bug fix. Stack Shiv now always hits 3 additional targets, so that's insane. It chains very, very well, and yeah, it's actually quite good now. So I would really recommend making Stack Shiv. Thornmail got a huge buff, but I think it's still quite bad. I'm not really a big fan of Thornmail, but you can put it on a high health unit such as like, you know, Shyvana or like any shapeshifter has high health, right? Or you can put it on Cho'Gath if you really, really don't need, you know, the chainmails, which is insane. Chainmail is one of the best items too, so you should be careful. It makes PD, it makes red buff, so yeah, it's a bit yikes. Warbox, instead of 3% max HP, is 6% missing HP, which is whatever. It's a stylistic change. And finally, Zeke's Herald is the same treatment as Locket now. It only affects 2 spaces to the left and 2 spaces to the right, and it also got an attack speed buff. So once again, assassins really, really want this item. So overall, what do I think of these patch notes? Okay, so overall, these patch notes are really, really cool. Builds that I think are insane right now that you need to get are, number 1, assassins. Assassins are so good right now. Locket change, Zeke's change is really good. And also the fact that some of their assassins didn't really get a buff or nerf, right? But the other tribes got a nerf. So that, like, man, it's just insane. And Akali is just ridiculous right now. With the smarter AI, she does even more damage. So assassins are the number 1 thing you need to try. The number 2 thing you need to try is a Volibear carry, okay? Build a big Volibear, put some on-hit items on him like Cursed Blade, you know, make him a demon, get some glacials and whatnot, and watch him go to town. It's insane. One last build that I really recommend right now is Blade Master. The Blade Masters is insane with Draven and whatnot, but the main buff to Blade Masters is the Fiora buff, which is actually quite great if you're playing, you know, Blade Masters. And also Aatrox. Aatrox is humongous right now. Holy shit, he's so good. And also increased attack speed when he's a demon means that he can apply his mana burn even more consistently. Dude, he can just dunk. Dude, check out the clip that I actually dunked my opponent right here.
But the Demon Bear, you need Rapid Fire Cannon because you don't want Bully to get in range, and he has a Ginsu's too. So let's see if this Demon Bear does work here.
Look at the Thornmail Hexblade, like Hex. Ooh! The Aatrox is insane.
What the? It's 1,000. He's dunking. Oh,
the level 3 AoE is so huge.
And that's it. Thank you so much for watching the patch. I'll be back next week for a new patch analysis. And hopefully your TFT games are gonna go as smooth as mine. Thanks for watching. Bye.